welcome again to some Wargame Airland battle action. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 this time on the Bergen map, or Bergen map, whatever. The packed team consists of myself, Lightman, Sunder and Eagle, so it should be interesting to see how Sunder will do on our team. On the other team we've got NATO consisting of Kostya UA, a Pony Puncher, interesting name, and Jackie21, so... yeah, according to the rankings anyway, we do have some solid rankings all around. Well, more solid perhaps for NATO, but whatever, we'll see what happens. Battle lines are being drawn. I'll be going towards Juliet and helping out Charlie. Kostya and Pony going for the middle and the... let's see, that's... okay, for some reason that's the northern part of the map, so and the northern flank. And what the hell, we'll see what happens. So we got, yep, quite a few aircraft coming in. Holy shit, that is a lot of aircraft. What are these? Jaguar A's. So they're anti-radar aircraft. Interesting how they'd be used at the beginning like that. And a couple of AA planes coming in as well to do a bit of damage. In either case, my helicopters are going to be making their way through. So those AA planes basically doing nothing against them. All very calm, in fact. In fact, yeah, these guys are actually managing to make it. Although they will take a bit of damage, but I think I might be able to land my infantry just barely in the nick of time. And by the looks of it, I think I'm actually playing, not as East Germany, but I'm pretty sure I'm actually playing as Mechanized Pact. Pretty sure, yes. Given the mixture that we got here, I'm pretty sure it's a Mechanized Pact. FJB is managing to make their way into the buildings. In fact, all three squads have managed to make it into the buildings, actually. Pretty nicely done. And my helicopters are in a pretty good position to help out, actually. Bam. Look at that, all these rockets being launched, just gotta love it. All these guys are going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, these Gennady combats. But I think my helicopters will take them out anyway, so there you go. And even engaging their transports, actually. You gotta love it. So yeah, Juliet will be taken by myself, so a couple of T-34s around just to... not really sure, just to act as cheap defense, I guess, as well as some ATGM infantry coming around. So Whiskers and all that to act as anti-air, so just to make sure that Juliet's secured. And there we go, Golf is going to get secured finally by Jackie from NATO. And of course more bloody napalm bombers going to be coming into a bit of a pain in the ass. The French ones are at the very least not as cost effective as other napalm bombers because they've got some extra weapons on them, which actually officially makes them, yeah, those multi-role fighters actually. So they're going to be not quite as cost effective, but they're still pretty effective at dropping napalm. So even though my FJBs have got these fancy Strela missiles, they're still going to have to exit and, well, just get torn to shreds. Unfortunately, yeah, very good use of napalm by my opponent there. I just have a couple remaining, and my helicopters are mostly remaining as well, so I suppose they will be able to get out of there. Even my Fagots are actually going to be able to launch a few shots here and there, although unfortunately one thing I didn't take into account was the fact that these buildings are going to be blocking quite a few of their shots actually. So I don't think actually they really took any ATGMs at all actually. Whoops, should have thought of that. Well, command vehicle finally coming out to Charlie. Hopefully someone's going to be sending a command vehicle to Bravo. Opponents do have an initial score point advantage, but it could of course change very quickly given how... oh, okay, there goes our anti-air. Anyway, given how early on the game is, what I should be doing is I should be sending in my planes versus the seed aircraft. I'm actually surprised that we're seeing so much seed aircraft at the beginning of the game actually, but there you go, one of the Jaguars does get taken out by MiG-23M of Eagle actually. For a minute I thought that was my MiG-BIS coming in, but apparently not. And of course, yep, the opponents are going to be going pretty heavily on aircraft it seems. So here comes the Nighthawk, and it might actually be able to take out all three of these vehicles at once. Well, okay, most of them at once, except for the Briusa, bizarre enough, so ouch. Definitely needs to spread out the stuff a little bit more, and, well, yeah, just spread out the stuff more so, especially anti-air, to say the least. But we are replying with our own seed aircraft, which is taking out some form of radar-based anti-air. I wasn't paying attention to what that was before it ended up as a flaming Grek. Unfortunately, though, we are going to be losing, very unfortunate, going to be losing the seed aircraft. A bit unlucky there. If that missile that came after it missed it, I'm pretty sure it would have been alright, but well, what can you do? Delphin of the Moon coming in, indeed. Dropping a couple of napalm bombs, but yeah, Panzerkates is still back here actually, so well, just as well that I only sent it back that, well, only that far forward rather than a little bit further into enemy territory, otherwise it would have had a greater risk of being destroyed. And there we go, finally going to be sending in some more anti-aircraft of my own. Grenze coming in, probably just to provide some recon there. Rather bizarre choice of our opponents not to capture India. I think I'll actually be taking advantage of that a bit later on, but probably not for a while. What I do know is that, yeah, we do have +1 incoming, and it's only because they haven't captured India for some reason. God knows what the hell's happening here. Just looking at CV placement here, pretty good for the enemies, pretty good for us. And looks like we do have a duplication of CVs actually. Well, I suppose one of them could be sent forward once we actually manage to secure more territory. My helicopters are as good as new, and unfortunately we do have the opponents, who let's see, Kostya in particular, and Pony Puncher are going to be punching their way through to our spawn zone for Alpha. I'm not really sure if that's the greatest of ideas, actually, trying to go straight for this spawn. If they caught us by surprise, maybe, but as you can see, yeah, we're just tearing them to shreds, basically, and we probably should try to secure this little forest line, actually. Just a couple of infantry in case they try to camp this spawn zone from this forest. Gudjabda Zvezdas suffered a bit of damage also on the lookout as well. Helicopters trying to do a bit of damage. Fagots might actually be able to hit something, God forbid. And what do you know, they actually do hits. Finally, they managed to get a hit on an Abrams tank, and they seem to be out of missiles, just like that. You just gotta love it. Thankfully, yeah, I do have more ATGMs where that came from. I should be sending out some more, actually, maybe on these buildings, but oh well. In any case, it's nice having them off to the side, and if I remember correctly, I think they'll be able to last a pretty long time. For some reason, opponents will most likely be... Well, I think they'll be ignoring these Fagots for a bit of a while, actually, until they eventually bomb them with aircraft. In any case, yeah, CEVs, something you don't see too often. It's had some balance changes throughout various patches, and there actually are some people who say it's actually a pretty nifty little support tank. In fact, even versus enemy vehicles, because it does so much HE damage, and because it has pretty good range actually. Even though it's got really shitty accuracy, it does a very good job in panicking and stunning enemy tanks. And of course, it's pretty good against light stuff like infantry. So as long as you follow up with you know, other tanks and infantry and such, then yeah, it's not too shabby actually. Not too shabby indeed. These are CEVs, and I believe there's a UK equivalent as well. I can't remember what the hell it was called. This Mirage is actually managing to stay alive for quite a while, kind of showing how little bloody anti-air we actually have. Finally gets taken out. I think it was my... No, I'm not sure what actually took it out. That might have been my Iglas. But yeah, definitely needed a bit more anti-air. It's the story of my fucking life. Not enough anti-air always. Oh well. In any case, the planes are getting whittled down though. Those are definitely not... They're definitely not cheap. These Ravens definitely are going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Do have my Megabus coming in. Unfortunately, missing a bit of an opportunity to take out the Raven. Instead, I think I might have sent him out across towards the middle to take out the Mirage, but unfortunately didn't take it out either, so... Whoopsie lonk. Yeah, in fact, if our opponents wanted to, this Kostya guy, he could actually put up a CV behind one of these buildings or in these little bushes, just to actually deny this point to us if he really wanted to. But probably isn't going to do so. My FJBs, bizarre enough, are actually still alive. Optics, medium. What about the other infantry? Medium, okay. There's nothing too special there. There we go. Finally, we do have some reinforcements coming in for myself for Charlie, and I'll probably be making a push for Golf eventually. Serpedias, ouch, they're all packed, but these Panzerkates, well, not exactly in great numbers, and their morale is not that great either, so Serpedias would probably still be able to take them out if they wanted to. Although leaving him in these flames, not really sure why Sunder did that. He kind of should get them out of there. But they seem to have relocated to different buildings that no longer seem to be suffering damage, so there you go. Even got a nice little bit of AAA coming in. Unfortunately, we don't have any real anti-tank mains over here, so yeah, these AAA is just going to get taken out pretty easily. Indeed. Oh no, wait, whoops, there's our Serpedias Sturmovs. Whoopsie long. Okay, so actually this should be alright to take out these Panzerkates, who somehow actually managed to get over here. Interesting. Interesting how they do that, but oh, whatever. They're often coming in to drop some napalm on top of these tanks, most likely. Yep, bam. So yeah, as you can see, I usually go with the cheapest napalm planes that I can get, basically. I'm not saying that, you know, having more bombs is cost inefficient, but I prefer to be slightly more... Yeah, these guys are panicked. I prefer to be slightly more precise, I suppose you could say, with my flame-based weaponry. Panzerkates are still alive, and these guys are dying pretty quick. Ouch. Sunder definitely doing everything he can to stop the tide, but unfortunately more infantry coming in from Kostia, including a couple of AA pieces, which again are being grouped together for no particular reason. Just got at least I do manage to take out another one of their planes, unfortunately absorbing a little bit of, well, some flame damage, but, well, Igla's relocating, Motostelski's relocating pretty quickly. I dare say they should be alright. In fact, these helicopters seem to be more panicked than anything else, actually. And that's because they're taking on these other things as well, actually. Not bad. So there we go, the battle for our spawn zone continues on the northern flank. These Ravens being a massive pain in the ass, but there we go, we actually are taking them out as well. This Wild Weasel definitely being a little bit cocky with its, wow, okay, with its targeting, getting that close over enemy air, and there's something you don't see too often either, actually, yeah, radar-based AAA by your Sassar. Yeah, usually I just ignore that entirely and go for the Zeus Yevganskis. But at the same time, these, well, these Bryusas, I'm actually surprised he went for the more expensive ones. The cheaper radar-based AAA can act as pretty good seed sinks for the books and other radar-based SAMs, so that they can, yeah, they can absorb the seeds, and the books can finish up the enemy seed aircraft. Well, in theory anyway. But in practice, it's a bit tricky to pull off still. It also seems to be a bit tricky to pull off is Sunder and Eagle trying to reclaim this zone from NATO. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't seen any command vehicles pop in just yet. If I was them, I definitely would send in a command vehicle there. We actually do have +2 coming in, and there we go, finally did capture India, sending in a couple of infantry and such just to act as recons, T-64A just in reserve. Probably could put in a little bit of infantry in these buildings actually as well, just a single Motostelski squad in case they try to rush me. It would be better than nothing, but yeah, I do have some bits of defense here and there. Actually, I probably could have brought up the book a little bit further forward actually, given the defenses that I had. But, oh well, and I should have brought up these tanks as well now that I think of it, because they're basically defending this front, which basically no longer exists, unless if they were hiding units around here without capturing India, which thankfully doesn't seem to be the case, bizarre enough. Yeah, those mountaineers are definitely going to be a pain in the ass, but there we go, we do manage to get very precise napalm hits on them. A second salvo not really doing much against them, but yeah, these guys are going to be flaming up pretty nicely. Just love the, what is it? Love the smell of grilled mountaineers in the morning, eh? And there we go, they're just going to continue taking damage. I actually do have fancy Mi-2 or VP helicopter to finish them off as well, and some more airplanes coming in as well to do. Oh no, there's just AA planes. Well, in any case, more planes coming in is always good. Except for anti-air, I guess. But in any case, those mountaineers are going to get destroyed, and they basically didn't do anything. Sucks to be them, and look at that, of course, you've got people fucking quitting. It's interesting, I don't seem to have as many quitters on my own team, but, well, actually it's probably because I play, well, usually, not always, but I usually play with more people that I actually know, rather than just random pubs, public players. But, that's a thing, though. I really wish that this game had a bloody... actually, no, not just yet. But anyway, I really wish this game had a vote resign feature, like in 0K, so that you can actually vote to resign as a team, rather than just, you know, either continuing to play or just quitting and leaving everyone else on your team to pick up the slack, essentially, unless if everyone decides to quit as well. But, well, Sunder coming in with a couple of Wilkes T-34s again. Bunching up is not a good idea. I didn't actually notice when I was playing, but I might actually mention that to him next time if that happens to be the case. Okay, so that's what our opponents could have done. Well, the first thing they could have done was maybe abandon their attack. Okay, I don't know what that plane that was, but they could have abandoned the attack on that reinforcement zone after their initial attack. I mean, it's always good to, well, usually it's at least not horrible to try to go after your opponent's spawn zones, provided that you target either the CV as quickly as possible or the actual reinforcement area itself as quickly as possible. Yeah, just try to go for initial assault, see if they're actually got a decent amount of defenses. You might actually catch them by surprise, but then after the element of surprise is gone, then man, this thing's a pain in the ass. Anyway, once the element of surprise is gone, then the opponents will know to reinforce around their, well, around whatever points are being targeted. So it does make, well, attacking spawn zones in general is pretty tricky unless if you've got the element of surprise, basically, is what I'm saying. God, what's really a pain in the ass is these fucking, God, these fucking flame planes. Flame planes. Kind of has a nice little ring to it. Yeah, well, actually, speaking of which, I think Eagle could do with some infantry around this point as well. We do have a whole bunch of labs, presumably loaded with Space Marines coming in, or that'll make that much difference really, and even some ATGMs coming in. I'm pretty sure I mentioned to Pop Vitez that I'm actually checking out some other replays at the moment, so not just yet, unfortunately. Yeah. Sucks, but there you go. Helicopters coming in pretty refreshed, and what do you know, the command vehicle has been taken out for Charlie, apparently. I'll be damned, now this thing's actually completely even. This topaz by Sunder was presumably meant to cover this zone, but unfortunately Sunder positioned it in a bit of a shitty position there. Okay, there's the other topaz for Bravo. He just needs to move this one just a little bit over to Charlie to get to it. Not that it really matters much, well, too much anyway, because we do still have plenty of score points over opponents. I was just sending a couple of euros just to probe ahead. Actually, we do have a probing Bradley CFV by Pony Puncher as well, actually. Just to see what's happening. Maybe he's even going to try to make a push. And, well, my Grenzer's, well, given that this thing does have medium stealth, well, it's actually going to be a bit hit and miss whether he's actually detected. No, he's actually going to be firing, so provided that I'm paying attention, I should hopefully notice that there is a Bradley CFV coming in. So we do have an initial... okay, this is a bit of a bad move by Eagle, especially since he's a Sergeant Major. But anyway, we do have a bit of a... okay, well, a little bit of an outpost being created temporarily by NATO there, and I'm not really sure why exactly Eagle decided to go with tanks. Should have gone with flame tanks, if that, against infantry that close, but there you go. Still an interesting game to say the least. Actually, that's interesting. There's no experience acquired section there. Well, whatever. Just having a look. Yeah, I basically did the most amount of damage out of anyone else in the team, so which is bizarre. Look at this Eagle guy. He's a Sergeant Major. I mean, I'm not saying that these kills are all that matters, but it's still kind of surprising to see these numbers. Well, Eagle, I suppose he did have a bit of a harder time on his flanks as well. But at the same time, I was trying to... I was warding off the enemy who was assaulting my urban sectors as well, so there you go. I'll see you all next time.